Hi there. It's August 18th and time for Proverbs 18. Let's jump over there. Now we're doing the Revised Standard Version this month just because I like to do a different version every month so you get a different idea. And some of the stuff the Revised Standard Version says is kind of strange. Okay. I mean, it's not inaccurate, but it's harder to understand. Like this first verse that he who is estranged seeks pretexts to break out against all sound judgment. Okay. And, you look at that and you're like, what? The clear version of it is he who isolates himself, or he is a recluse, okay, seeks his own desire, okay, and breaks out against all sound judgment, okay. He who is a recluse. And it says over here, a recluse is self-indulgent, snarling at every sound principle and conduct. It says that in the New Living Translation. And the NIV says, an unfriendly man pursues selfish ends. He defies all sound judgment. New King James, a man who isolates himself seeks his own desire. He rages against all wise judgment. Right? So, sometimes you need to isolate yourself and be alone with your thoughts and with God, but not all the time, okay? Sometimes you need to get out with friends and I mean, it says all over the Bible, don't forsake gathering in the assembly, right? Because it's important to get out with other believers. Interesting, huh? Verse 2, a fool takes no pleasure in understanding, but only expressing his opinion. Have you known people like that? They're not going to listen. They're right, and they know they're right, and that's all they care about. You don't like hanging around this kind of people, okay? Most people don't. 3, when wickedness comes, contempt comes also, and with dishonor comes disgrace. What does that say over here? Pretty much that. I'll say the same thing. When wickedness comes, contempt follows, and dishonor and disgrace follows. We all know wicked people, right? There's some very famous wicked people. Or the words of a man's mouth are deep waters. The fountain of wisdom is a gushing stream. Right? Still waters, deep waters, dark. The fountain of wisdom is bubbling out and flowing. Deep waters don't flow. It's not good to be partial to a wicked man or to deprive a righteous man of justice. Basic statement, right? That happens a lot. Especially if the wicked man has a lot of money and people are going to be partial to that wicked man just because he has money. The fool's lips bring strife, and his mouth invites a flogging. It's just basic, right? You ever want to punch somebody? His mouth invites a flogging. And again, a fool's mouth is his ruin, and his lips are a snare to himself. Those two go together. Foolish people don't know when to shut up. They don't. 8, The words of a whisperer are delicious morsels. They go down to the innermost parts of the body. Okay, this is gossip. Okay, this is gossip. Rumors, it says. Gossip. Right, it says it right in here. Gossip. In the New International Version, the words of a gossip are like delicious morsels that go into the inner parts of the body. Okay, if you've listened to me any length of time, you know how I feel about gossip in all forms. Okay, a lot of social media and television make their living from gossip. Okay, somebody else's business that is nobody's business but their own business, and people talk about it. Yeah. And it's like a drug. It says here, it's like a drug. It goes down to the innermost parts of the body. And it's a very addictive drug. Some people are addicted to gossip. Like reality TV, that's just gossip, okay? And it's addicting. It tears apart churches. It tears apart families. It tears apart friends. Bad stuff. But it's like a drug. We'll talk about that all day. 9, he who is slack in his work is a brother to him who destroys. If you're lazy, if you're not doing something that needs to be done, you might as well be breaking it and destroying it. Just that simple. That's a good one. The name of the Lord is a strong tower. The righteous man runs into it and is safe. Right? That's something you should hang on your wall. The name of the Lord is a strong tower. It will protect you. It's funny, he's right below that. A rich man's wealth is his strong city. And like a high wall protecting him. Right? People hide behind their money. In his imagination, is it? In his imagination. 12. Before destruction, a man's heart is haughty, but humility goes before honor. Pride. Haughty is pride. Before destruction, a man's heart is proud. Right? But humility goes before honor. Right? Humble. To be honored is for somebody else to notice your strong suits and gifts and accomplishments. Okay? Otherwise, you're just proud. Humbleness goes before honor. If we could all be humble, okay? And if you ask God to make you humble, He will. He'll work on that. And that's the first step to getting all these things down, is being humble. 13, if one gives answer before he hears, it is his folly and shame. How often does that happen? Somebody's trying to tell you something, and you cut them off and blurt out an answer before they even finish speaking. Happens often, especially when people are arguing or debating. They won't let somebody finish. Okay. It says in James, a wise man is slow, quick to listen, and slow to speak. It means you should not even be forming opinions in your head until you hear their complete statement. And most people, they hear the first couple words, and already inside their head, they're forming what I'm going to say back to this person. And then some people cut them off. Oh, I did, but if you're wise, you let them finish. You don't formulate thoughts in your head. You concentrate on what they're saying, because what they're saying at the end of their sentence could completely turn around it. So yeah, don't cut people off. Listen. Be quick to listen and slow to speak. 14, a man's spirit will endure sickness, but a broken spirit who can bear? right? No, we are threefold beings created in the image of God, right? We have a soul, a body, and a spirit, okay? And people don't pay enough attention to the human spirit, okay? God uses the human spirit as a light to your soul. Okay, and that's a whole conversation by itself. And your spirit, if you have a strong spirit, it can endure sickness and unhealth and stuff. But if you have a broken spirit, okay, that's what drives people to want to commit suicide, is a broken spirit. Even if they're healthy, right? It can be so down and their spirit can be so broken that they want to end it all, okay? You can't bear a broken spirit. That's what you need to try and fix. How do you fix it? I don't know. God can fix it. 15, an intelligent mind acquires knowledge, and the ear of the wise seeks knowledge, right? You're always looking to learn something. 16, a man's gift makes room for him and brings him before great men. Oh, that's true. That's true. Somebody who is very gifted at something, it could be, playing the guitar or being a mathematician, extremely gifted. That gift will make room for you, okay? Your gifts, your talent will make room before great men. Oh, he's good. Bring him in. And I think everybody can be outstanding at something. A lot of people don't know what, but you can start by taking a spiritual gifts test. I have a video buried way down on YouTube somewhere about where I took a spiritual gifts test. And it'll tell you what you're naturally gifted at, and it will give you a direction. It'll point you in a direction if you're unsure. Maybe we'll do that again at some point. 17, he who states his case first seems right until another comes and examines him or cross-examines him, most versions say. Right? In a court case, they always let the person who's accusing them go first. The accuser goes first. This person did this and this, and on this night he did this, and on this night he did this. And people in the court and the jury going, ooh, he did all these things. But the defendant always gets to speak last, always gets the last word. And then the defendant's lawyer can get up and says, this stuff is not true. He was on the other side of the country when these things happened. He was in California and these things happened in New York. And he wasn't even there. And I have receipts and I have pictures and I can prove it. Okay. And then suddenly the accuser is known. They're going, oh, well, this accuser's wrong. So, yeah. The one who speaks first. And that's why in America they allow the defendant to always go last so they can defend themselves. Right? But they always seem right. A lot of these headlines in the media today are this first part. They state their case first. And it doesn't even have to be true. They're just saying, so-and-so did such and such. Oh, no. And when it's not even true. It could be completely fake. But they're just trying to tear somebody down. So. 18. The lot puts an end to disputes and decides between powerful contenders. Right? They used to cast lots for stuff. Now they flip a coin. But these two strong football team, great big mammoth monsters, and a little coin will decide, right? Decides between powerful contenders. Flip of a little coin, and wherever it lands, they'll go, okay, that's the decision. And they take that. 19, a brother helped is like a strong city, but quarreling is like the bars of a castle. Meaning of the Hebrew is uncertain. Of course it is. That's interesting. It says over here that an offended brother is more unyielding than a fortified city, and disputes are like the barred gates of a citadel. A brother offended is harder to win than a strong city. This is backwards, okay? You can't argue with him. We're going to leave that alone. We're going to leave that alone. 20. From the fruit of his mouth, a man is satisfied. He is satisfied by the yield of his lips. Oh, that says the same thing. Okay? Both ones. Words satisfy the soul as food satisfies the stomach. That's what the other versions say. From the fruit of his mouth, a man is satisfied. He's satisfied by the yield of his lips. It's good to have other versions up here, because this isn't that weird. If it turns some things around. Yeah. 21. Death and life are in the power of the tongue, and those who love it will eat its fruits. Huh? Death and life are in the power of the tongue. Get that? Words can kill. That's why in so many places in Proverbs it says the best thing to do is to keep your mouth shut. Okay? If you can't say kind words, don't say any words. Okay? Because they can kill somebody. And those who love to use words like that will eat its fruits. Bad or good. You will get what you deserve. Okay? Important. 22. He who finds a wife finds a good thing and obtains favor from the Lord. You notice here it doesn't say girlfriend. It doesn't say woman. It says wife. He who finds a wife. Okay? Wives are different than girlfriends. Okay? A wife will be there for you no matter what, sickness and in health. Right? Richer for poorer, like the vows say. And women, if you want to find a man, be a wife. Don't be a girlfriend. Don't be a, temporary. Be a wife. He who finds a wife finds a good thing. It doesn't say he who finds a girlfriend finds a good thing. It says a wife. Okay? And you could be like a wife, well, not being married. You can have those values, okay? That, I'm dating you because you have a nice car or you make a lot of money. That's not a wife, okay? A wife is happy to have transportation, right? And a wife is happy to have home and food and love. Mm-hmm. That's why most men are looking for wives. They're not looking for girlfriends. People that clamor on, people that only like them because they look a certain way or dress a certain way or drive a certain car. A wife. Okay? For distinction. Somebody, told me about that distinction. He who finds a wife finds a good thing. 23. The poor use entreaties, but the rich answer roughly. And that makes no sense to me. I can't see this thing. Let's see. That's like That's like King James talk, okay? The poor use entreaties, but the rich answer roughly. All the later versions. A poor man pleads for mercy, but a rich man answers roughly. Or the poor plead for mercy, but the rich answer with insults. Okay? The poor plead, and the rich answer with insults. Okay? And if you've listened any length of time, you know how Jesus and God feels about helping the poor. Okay? When you help the poor, you are helping God himself. When you give to the poor, you are giving to God himself. God will pay you back, not that poor person, because you're giving to God. Okay? So the poor plead, the rich insult them. Okay? That's a terrible thing. Okay? And 24. There are friends who pretend to be friends, but there is a friend who sticks closer than a brother. Right. A man of many companions may come to ruin, but there is, okay, most of us have one person, okay, that will stick closer to a brother, that will always, always be there for them through thick and thin, no matter what happens. Okay? If you have 20 or 30 friends, you know, like some of these stars, all these people clamoring and hanging around them. But as soon as something happens, as soon as they fall, as soon as they go broke, right, or get sick, they all scatter. Okay? They all scatter. Right? There's one friend who sticks closer than a brother. Right? If you can't find that friend, be that friend. Okay? So there you have it. That's Proverbs 18. Let's go over a highlight. I highlighted this because it's in such a strange language you can't understand it, right? He who is estranged seeks pretext to break out against all judgment. Okay. A person who isolates himself or is a recluse seeks his own desire. They don't want to help anybody else. They just want to help themselves. Okay. And it breaks out against all sound judgment. Okay. It just doesn't make sense. You have to get out. You have to have friends. You have to assemble. Okay. We highlighted that because this word is so strange in this version. We highlighted 4. The words of a man's mouth are deep waters, the fountain of wisdom, a gushing stream. What's that say out here? A person's words can be life-giving water. Words of true wisdom are as refreshing as a bubbling brook. Okay. Deep waters. Deep waters. Deep waters. They all say deep waters. Right? Which is deep waters. That can mean anything, okay? Deep waters are usually still and they're not flowing. Okay, if I think about deep waters versus a gushing stream where the water's always flowing, it's moving out, it's giving. Okay? You decide. Okay, we highlighted 8. The words of a gossip are like delicious morsels. They go down to the innermost parts of the body, like a drug. Okay? Just like a drug. And that's not a good thing. Okay? People love to hear gossip. It's a billion-dollar industry. Okay? 10, the name of the Lord is a strong tower. The righteous man runs to it and is safe. And right below, it's funny. A rich man's wealth is his strong city, and like a high wall protecting him in his mind. Okay, just in his mind. It says here, in his imagination. Yeah, those two are kind of interesting. 12, we highlighted before destruction. A man's heart is haughty or proud or bragging. But Before honor comes humility, humbleness. If you want to be honored, you have to be humble first and let somebody else do the honoring. Then you will be truly honored. Okay? And 13 is important. If one gives answer before he hears, it is his foolishness and shame. Right? Don't cut people off when they're saying something. Don't cut them off. The fact that you cut them off mid-sentence tells them that you were never listening to begin with, okay? If your mind is doing something else while they're talking to you, like formulating your own opinion, you're not listening to them at all. That's why a lot of married couples, they end up going to different rooms and sulking because somebody cuts them off, which tells that person you were never listening to me in the first place, okay? If your mind is already formulating answers and defenses, you're never listening to me in the first place, okay? So somebody answers before they hear, before they finish speaking. Think about that. It's important. And 16, a fact, a man's gift makes room for him and brings him before great men. Right? If you're an expert in any field, it'll get you appointments and people want to talk to you. Right? This is a man's gift or talents. 17, we highlighted, he who states his case first seems right until the other comes and cross-examines him. Okay. And the accuser versus the defendant. That's why the defendant gets to speak last. 21, we highlighted, important. Death and life are in the power of the tongue, and those who love it will eat its fruits. Right? Words can kill. Words can save. Okay? Death and life. Words can kill. Words can save. Okay? Know when to shut up. Know when to speak. If you can speak good things, kind things, say those things. People need to hear those. Right? And we talked about this in depth. He who finds a wife finds a good thing and obtains favor from the Lord. A wife. Right? Men are looking for wife material. Someone who knows how to act like a wife. A wife will not complain about the type of car you're driving or how much money you have, the kind of clothes you wear. Okay? A wife is looking for a man, a real man who will protect and nurture her. Okay? And you need to be the kind of girl that is a wife. That I don't care what you drive. Thank God we have transportation that will get us there. Okay? And a house and food. And thank God you love me and pray with me, right? Finds a wife. So, there you have it. We could talk about these subjects at great length, okay? And each one would make a great study on its own. So, we will do that. I think we are. What are we doing in our... Yeah. Today we're in Kings and Chronicles, and we're through the Bible in a year. We're on day 231. So, taking a break from Jeremiah for a while to catch up on the history of all the things Jeremiah's talking about. And that'll be a couple days, and then we'll get back to Jeremiah. So, but as today, have a good Sunday. Give somebody a hug, a symbol, right? But remember the stuff we talked about. Words. See you later.